All right, everyone. We have our big first breaking news of the summer, and it involves Benjamin Sesko. It involves, by the way, welcome everyone in the chat already. And yes, it is my first ever James B YouTube live stream. Welcome everyone. I see Ryan in there, Jay Barnes, Peppermint Freedom. Welcome back, everyone. But yeah, it's our first ever breaking news show, and it's to do with this. It's to do with this. The fact that Fabrizio Romano has come out with an exclusive saying that Benjamin Sesko has decided to stay at Leipzig and sign a new contract on improved terms. The decision's been made for the talented striker, similar to what Haaland decided to do back in his days at Dortmund. Sesko will stay at Leipzig with a new gentleman's agreement for a future exit. That is the news that Fabrizio Romano's come in with. And this is a bit of a live reaction, people, but to be honest, I'm just not surprised. I'm absolutely not surprised by this at all. I went on Twitter, on X, and just shared my feelings. There's actually a clip from a video I did on there's a video on my channel where I basically was talking about the three options he had, which was basically to sign a new deal or go to Arsenal, Man United, or Chelsea. And I said in that video, I was like, I think he's going to sign a new deal with Leipzig. I just had this feeling that I don't know. I just had this feeling that there was a little bit too much. You know, they say no smoke without fire, but there was too much smoke. Do you know what I mean? I just felt like there was just too much being said. I just felt there was too much going on. And no reporter actually ever came out and said, Arsenal really want this player. Arsenal are desperate to sign this player. And so I was always just a bit apprehensive. I was always just holding back a little bit. I just didn't get as excited as everyone else, seemed to be as well. It just, something was holding me back. But anyway, it's done now. He's signed his new deal at Leipzig. For what it's worth, from the player's perspective, I think that's probably quite a good deal. I mean, I think in fairness to him, a good deal. I think that's a good decision for his, development. I think the guy's only 20. He's just turned 21 years old. He's played one full season at Leipzig, but even that's sort of twisting the stats slightly, because he averages 44 minutes per game, as I discussed on a video on AFTV when I did a breakdown on him. He's not played much football, and a lot of his starts came, I think 17 of his starts came in the last 18 games of the season. So he's basically played all of his football in the second half of the campaign. And was he ready to come to Arsenal and be what we need him to be? Maybe in a year or two's time, when he's had sort of more football played, then sure, but something just didn't feel right. Honestly, throughout the whole thing, I just thought everyone was getting so excited, and I just didn't really see it coming. I didn't really see it happening. So apologies, I'm hiccuping there. So he's made his decision. He's off to, so he's not off to anywhere. He's staying with Leipzig. And that's the right thing. I thought if he was going to go anywhere, at one point it was looking like maybe Chelsea. We discussed that in yesterday's video as well, talking about Aaron Ramsdale. I thought there was a chance that would maybe be where, maybe he'd end up at Chelsea, because they kind of need that profile of striker. But then do they need a young one, because they've got Nicholas Jackson? I don't know. Look, from an Arsenal perspective, discussing all this, my general feeling is I still think we want a striker. I think reports of everyone saying that Arsenal want to bring in a number 9 of some sort, or at least another forward. I think that's all accurate. Like, I think that is all still true. I think Arsenal do want to try and bring in someone who can play up top, someone who can, give us another option up there. And I think maybe they are still looking at the younger striker mark. I know we've been linked with, let's get this off the screen now. I know we've been linked with, who was it? Joshua Zirkzee, for example, Bologna. And he's as well, 22 years old. I think he can play out wide, but he's predominantly a striker. Someone like him would be interesting to see whether we go for, again, another younger type of player, because Havertz has been doing so well up front. So do you get someone who, could basically not have to expect to play every minute of every game, while Havertz still sort of does quite well? I don't know. Or are they looking for that superstar striker? Are they looking for that really big deal they can do that's actually going to make a massive difference, to the team going forward, that's going to start week in, week out, that's maybe going to get Havertz more on the bench or playing more in midfield, or I don't know. And then some of these names that are being mentioned, some people are saying Isak. I like Isak, not just because he's quality, because he can play out left, so it gives us lots of options there. Lots of questions are coming in. Florin is asking, is Gyökeres still possible? And also mentioning that Xerxes has similar stats. So Does he? Fair enough. He probably does, actually, I think. But I think he's played a lot more football, to be fair. Is Gyökeres still an option? Maybe. I mean, that's still going to cost 85 million. I think his release clause is massive. So I don't really know where Arsenal go next with this. Let's clear our thoughts for a second, people. I'm of the opinion that if you spend money on the striker, it's got to be someone you're so convinced by. It's got to be someone that you're absolutely sure this is who we want. Because even if you get the project signing, it's going to cost a lot of money. Like, Sesko's still a £55 million player. Yes, that's not 80, 85 or even 100, but £55 million player, that's a large chunk of the budget that he's still got to be absolutely sure about. So if we're not getting him and he's chosen Leipzig, whether he rejected us and chose Leipzig or whether he didn't want to progress talks with us, I don't really know. But the Sesko thing sort of pushed aside. So if we're looking at a Xerxes, he might be 400, imagine. He might be 40 million. Who else? Gyökeres might be 85 million. Osman will certainly be 105 million or something like that. Isak, people are saying, Cecil saying, there's Cecil, big up Cecil, saying, Isak, go big. Yeah, you could go big on an Isak for sure. But Isak's the only one I'm absolutely convinced by. People are saying Watkins, love Watkins. He's not leaving Villa because he's very happy there. He's got Champions League football. Everything's good there. Ivan Toney, we absolutely convinced by him. I was more convinced by him back in February than I am now. So I think if you don't know 100%, if the strike you want is definitely not there, then you, for me, bolster the squad out wide at least with quality. Like this is the one. This is the one. I think I'm going to do a video on this tomorrow. Kudus. For me, that is the deal because he could play out wide, on the right, on the left, great left foot. So he's a natural support act to Bukayo Saka, but he's also got loads of qualities himself. Some qualities are probably even better than Saka's. And if Saka's not available or you want to rest him, cool, you can play Kudus. If you want to play Kudus on the left, you can. If you're playing false nine, you can. He's even played in midfield himself. Although let's not give Arteta another midfield experiment to work with. But Kudus, for me, like I would love him. I would absolutely love to go get him. He's the kind of player that can do something out of nothing, that can do it in multiple positions. I think he's waiting to explode like a Jurgen Klopp winger has in the past. Mo Salah, Diogo Jota, Sadio Mane. Mane's the great example. Who else? Luis Diaz. Like, so many wingers have gone to Liverpool and to Jurgen Klopp and have just totally just exploded on the scene. And you knew they were good players. Like, we knew Salah was a good player. We knew Mane was a good player. We knew Diaz and Jota were good players. But did we think they were world class? And Jurgen Klopp had us believing they were world class. And that's, Arteta's not Jurgen Klopp, but my word, his work with wingers has been stellar. I mean, it's very well documented, the work he's done with Leroy Sané, Raheem Sterling, and now you've seen it with Trossard this season, Bukayo Saka, Martinelli. So Kudus is the one I would go get if that definite striker you want isn't available. And maybe in a year's time, Sesko is even more developed and even better. And then maybe we'd probably regret that we didn't do the deal this summer. And I get all that. But ultimately, he's chosen, let's just remind you of the story. He's chosen Leipzig, people. He has decided to stay at Leipzig and signed the new contract on improved terms. I mean, that's it. He's decided to, remain there. So whether he's rejected us or not, maybe we tried, maybe we were in contract discussions, maybe we, really wanted to do this deal and he didn't want to sign for us. And if that's the case, then so be it. But Sesko's now off the table. So what's next? What's the next thing we go and do from here on in? For what it's worth, I think we're now going to hit a bit of a lull in terms of transfer rumors. I don't think we're going to get like a big media reaction. What I mean by media reaction, I don't think reports are going to come out with a lot around other players. I think wait for the big David Ornstein bomb where something just completely out of the blue comes through. I think that's almost more likely that we'll be sort of not really sure what's happening and then suddenly Arsenal will do something. And I actually don't think it'll be till probably after the groups of the Euros. I just think things will be quite quiet. There's Copa America going on. There's the Euros. They both start this Friday. And I actually just see it being quite quiet on the transfer front. I mean, Chelsea signed Tosin Adarabioyo on a free transfer, so that was a pretty easy one to do. Man United still don't know if they're keeping Ten Hag on. I mean, every now and then I refresh my Twitter account, and there's a load of discourse amongst Man United fans about whether, we can get rid of that now. There we go. about whether they're like keeping Ten Hag or not, whether it's going to be Gareth Southgate. I'm like, wow, I mean, they don't even know what they're doing on the manager front. So everything I think is just a little bit slow. I think everyone is just waiting to see what happens throughout the Euros. So yeah, people, that's the news that he's chosen to stay on at Leipzig. Yeah, that's it. I'm a bit, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked. I'm not upset about it. Wasn't. Do you remember the Mudryk saga? Do you remember when Mudryk decided to go to Chelsea and it was meltdown, right? Everyone's like, oh my word, what's going on? I don't feel like that. I don't feel like this because it felt like we were genuinely in for Mudryk. And when Arteta was asked about that in his first interview after, I think you could see he was pretty gutted about the deal not getting done. So I'm not feeling that same way. Nothing felt as concrete to me as the Mudryk stuff when it comes to the Sesko deal. So what's next? Yeah, Osimhen, Gyökeres, maybe another forward. Kudos for me. But let's see. Jess says, this is sad, but happy for him then. So Jess is disappointed we didn't get the deal done. We've got, I think this summer window will very much be like in January. I agree. It could be quite quiet at first. I mean, I think David Ornstein said on his the Athletic FC podcast that he actually thinks it will be a bit of a slow start and then blow up into, a big summer. So let's see. Vanish asks maybe Dominic Solanke thoughts. I just don't rate him enough. You're not getting a young player you can develop who becomes the guy, and you're not getting your out and out number 9 who fires you to the title. I think you're at best getting just a good striker, but we've got good strikers. Jesus is a good striker / very, very, very good striker on his day. Kai Havertz has been phenomenal in the run. And so I just don't see the point in this deal. JK Guna says, really don't want Xerxes, Osimhen or no. Oh, really don't want Xerxes, Osimhen or no one for me. Fair enough. Sign a winger instead. I hear it. Farid says, Isak, Osimhen, Kudus in that order, or else concentrate on midfield this season and let Jesus and Havertz take care of the 9 position and get some backup for Saka. I hear it. Sun says, Kudus is more an inside winger than a touchline winger, though. We need somebody very comfortable out wide. So this is exactly why I like him, though, because he gives you a different dynamic. And with Timber, and White has been doing this for 2 years now, offering a lot on the overlap and underlap, I think you get a lot out of Kudus there. Tony says Gyökeres is a must. Maybe. I just don't see it happening personally. I just don't see it happening 85 million unless, again, Arteta and Arsenal think he's absolutely the guy. But things are so quiet on the Gyökeres front that you kind of wonder, is something bubbling away in the background there? What else have we got? Shemariah says, yeah, James, there'll be a lot of speculation with no one knowing anything. I think Arsenal were in for Sesko. I do. I think Arsenal did want to sign Sesko. In terms of we kind of want him. We like him. If we could get a good deal, yeah, we do. We get it done. I don't think they were ever desperate to make it happen. And I don't think he was ever first choice. So when I say I think they wanted to sign him, I think if basically whoever else they're looking at, wasn't an option, I think they'd have happily done that deal. But he's got a decision to make as well, and he's ultimately chosen Leipzig. Some people are saying Vlahovic, some people are saying Watkins. There's a lot of options out there, aren't there? Yeah, all right, people. We'll leave it there. Osimhen would be good. We've got a lot of people saying Osimhen. Crazy hard shot, but Ollie Watkins would be perfect. I think it's more likely we get a winger. Yeah, people. I know what you mean. It's difficult one. I don't know where Arsenal go next, but I urge patience. And this is why when I do my videos, and I was saying in those videos, I did a breakdown of Sesko because we were very heavily linked and everyone was talking about him. But when I was looking at, the recent reports around making a decision, something just didn't feel right. Something just didn't, I don't know how to explain it. Something just didn't feel like it was concrete enough. Something just didn't feel like it was. Oh, big thanks to Max. Big up, Max. Congrats on the live stream. Love Max. Love Max. Max does work that you guys, honestly, the work he does for this channel, you wouldn't believe. So thank you, Max. When I was sorry, I'm getting distracted and my brain's just going to a million things right now. So why live streams are harder than pre-recorded videos. When I was doing the video on the decision Sesko had to make, something didn't fit. Something just didn't make sense. It didn't feel like we had anywhere enough concrete reports that Arsenal's interest was really, really genuine. And that they were desperate to do this deal. More names keep getting thrown out. Vlahovic, Openda. I don't know about the other player. Apologies, but Vlahovic and Openda, I know. I mean, go back in for another Leipzig striker. Freddie saying Ivan Toney is a big no-no. Xavi Simons is a great shout. It looks like the kind of player who could play as a false nine as well. Xavi Simons. That original shout came from Luke. To be fair, still lots of shout for Victor Gyökeres. Is that true? He doesn't have a release clause of 40 million. Surely not. They'd probably do a deal at 40 million because the value's gone down for him. This is a great shout. Here we go. This is a great shout. Rafael. Could we go for Rafael as the winger, but could also play up front option? That gives us a lot of depth. So Francesco saying get Bakayoko. I like Bakayoko as well. Lots of talk of Rashford, but I just don't see this one personally happening. All right, everyone. Yeah, I said that 2 minutes ago, but we'll leave it there. Those are just my very off-the-cuff thoughts. To sum up, and sorry that it's my first live stream. I'll make sure I become more, what's the word? Just more to the point with these in future. My general overall thoughts ultimately are, I never felt that we were genuinely in for this player. Sorry, I never felt that we were really pushing and desperate to sign this player. I felt we were genuinely in for him, but I wasn't sure that we were like really pushing to make this deal happen. Something, there was, like I said, no smoke without fire is one thing, but there was too much smoke. Something just felt off. And it just made me think that, is this agent led? Is this to get a better deal at Leipzig? I don't really know what's going on. It never felt like the right fit for our squad. And I understood it to a degree in terms of developing a young striker with Havertz, but do you sign 55 million to just sort of sit on the bench? And maybe you do. To be fair, in this market, you probably do, to be fair. Something just didn't fit people. And actually, I can try explain it, but really it's just a gut feeling. And I actually shared on Twitter when I explained that in my last video, because something didn't fit. So everyone, we're going to leave it there. Thank you all for joining my first live stream. I've enjoyed it. It's like I've sort of been blabbering on and trying to gather my thoughts. So yeah, like I said, I'll try to be clearer with these in future, but it's been fun. Hope you all enjoyed it. There's some more stuff, I think, dropping a little bit later. If we can get the edit done the way I want it, that you should have some more content coming a little bit later on the channel. So big thank you all for joining. I really, really appreciate it. I'll be on AFTV as well. There is a video discussing Mikel Arteta and debating a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, there's a great panel. I'm not even going to spoil it, but there's a great video coming on AFTV tomorrow, which I'll be a part of with a really, really great cast and really great group of people debating the big questions around Arsenal as well. So look out for that. Big thank you, everyone. And I will see you on the next live show and in the next few uploads coming very soon in a bit.